Good evening and welcome along to another live stream with Dundee United as we continue our push in Europe in a cup semi-final that we're favourites for and in the Scottish Premiership as well. I think for the first ever time I've started a few seconds early. So thank you to everyone that's already here who's chucked a thumbs up on it before we start. It really is greatly appreciated. And thank you as always for your incredible support across the channel. We've reached 2,350 today, so we're well on course for 2,500 by the end of the FM21 cycle. So I can't thank you enough. It's been incredible support and it's lovely to come in and already have a few thumbs up on the video. So thank you all so much. I hope you're well, I hope you're getting along okay, and I hope you're having a good week. John, good evening. First in this evening, thank you for saying hello. It's always lovely to see the regulars about, particularly on a Tuesday night, which I appreciate now. With lockdowns ending and that, particularly across the UK, there's a lot of people gradually going back to work. So thank you all for popping in. Thank you for coming and saying hello. And for those of you that are here already, please do come and get involved in the chat. Please do chuck a thumbs up on it. And I'll try my best to avoid having lots of nil-nils tonight, like we did on Saturday morning. A quick thank you before we start while you're all flooding in. Just again to Tom and to Dylan for the donations at the weekend. They do make a difference. And thank you to everyone who's been involved in the chat and keeping things active. Jacob's in. Ryan, good evening. Thank you for popping in. Hopefully I won't let you down as a Dundee United fan tonight. Jacob Segrist in. He made it back to number one. He made it back the last game of Saturday morning. King Kieran, good evening. Another returning regular. Thank you for popping in as always. Lovely to have so many of you here from the start. We've actually got quite a big episode today. So we've obviously got the league games, which are fairly irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. Yes, we've got to stay in touch of the top three, particularly with Aberdeen starting well. So Ayr at home is a big game. Rangers away, we can't expect much. But Dunfermline in the League Cup semi-final is massive. We are the favourites for that competition with Rangers and Celtic out. And I just don't want to bottle it. Besiktas, a double-header in the Europa League. In truth, if we go and have a look at the competitions, it probably decides who goes through. Lyon will go through, Mulder will probably go out, and it's us or Besiktas for second or third. Will it be Europa League or Europa Conference after Christmas? In terms of the schedule, we said we'd played a one game against Hamilton off camera. You didn't miss much. It was another 0-0 draw, another poor performance in front of goal. Terry, good evening. Thank you for popping in. King Kieran, how was the weekend? Not too bad at all. Wow, we're in double figures already. Thank you everyone for coming in. The weekend was good. In terms of the stream, not great in terms of results. A few disappointments, a few 0-0s, but we're still going in the League Cup. And in terms of real life, Luton won again. And we ended a manager's reign of nearly 4 years at Preston. So we must have done something right. Jacob, I'll never forget Segrist European Masterclass. I don't think many will who were at that stream. I'm sure it will form part of the montage at the end of FM21. Tom, good evening. Thank you for popping in. You said Odegaard was amazing on FM when I asked, and turns out they're still underestimated. There you go. He was one of the best wonder kids a few years ago. He's basically what they've rated Makuku now. Makuko, Dortmund, who everyone was getting excited about. He's at Chelsea in this save, 3 years in, out of interest. But look at him, he's world class. I would say that's fairly accurate, but you've got to say, if you can keep him next season, which I doubt with him being a Real Madrid player, but if you can keep him next season and have him as your replacement for Ozil, you might be onto something special. But again, you've done the same thing, haven't you? You've put out Aubameyang on massive money, and unfortunately that seems to have backfired. And really, Lacazette's the hero up there. So I know you've got views on that, but that's all I can say on the Arsenal one. You know my opinions. The one thing we have got to worry about, I guess, as we go and get into today's episode, we're going to fall further behind in terms of league fixtures because of the League Cup, because of Europe. And we have got to bear in mind that we're underperforming in that competition. They're satisfied that we're still there or thereabouts, but I would imagine we're going to get in a bit of trouble if we don't get up the league soon. In terms of the League Cup, though, if we win it, should give us a bit of leeway. Thank you so much to everyone coming in this evening. To have this many of you here already is absolutely insane. Thank you for all the thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please do chuck one on it. Tom Zidane doesn't like him, though, and he's only got 2 years left. Yeah, I suppose. It's very strange, though. Zidane will probably reevaluate based on that. Jacob, Newcastle definitely getting relegated this season. I wouldn't be so sure. Wilson and St Maximin are due back soon. And they're the two bits of gold dust they've got. So once they're back, they'll start to score goals again. But, I mean, we talked about it in the Discord over the weekend. I think Bruce has been thrown under the bus a bit here. And he's got his flaws. Please don't say I'm saying he's a brilliant manager. He's got his flaws. But he has been thrown under the bus a little there. Let's go and get into this game, though. The first one of the day is away to Besiktas. So, this is probably going to be an indicator of how important the home game is. If we win this one, at home, we might have a bit more luck still. But we'll wait and see if that's right or not. Thank you for everyone who's got us in double figures almost immediately after starting. It really is incredible. Your support hasn't dropped throughout this game and it's been remarkable. So thank you for coming in. Let's go and get into the first game. I think we're going to go as strong as possible. We're going to rest everyone against Rangers. We're going to play everyone in the 3 after that. And then we'll rest everyone in a game off camera in between. But really, Rangers away is the one where we just try and get a 0-0 with the backups. So in terms of the starting lineup today, the only one I'm not sure about is Finlay Robertson, but he's not going to be able to play at the weekend because he's on loan from Rangers. So let's bring him in for Stevie Mallon. In terms of the rest of the team, I've dropped McCann out for O'Reilly and Holsgrove moving into the number 10 just to try and give us a bit more lighter match load across the board. But otherwise, I think we're as strong as we can be. I've gone for Kerr above Finlay now. And I have noticed since the most recent update at the end of last week, I've really struggled to get the advanced forward scoring goals. I'm not sure what it is. Jacob, the Newcastle Twitter all want him out. I'm not surprised. He's the fall guy. He's going to get it. Pardew was there before. Even after he took him to 5th, he got that. But there's bigger problems at the club. And we all know that. It's not going to be solved until the owner issue is. So I do feel for him a bit. But the fans, they're a great club. And they deserve better than what they're getting. But I think the issues are rooted off the pitch rather than on it. Let's have a look at what we can pick for today. I'm just wondering if there's anything else I can do with Shankland. Maybe change him to a poacher, give him an opportunity there. But I'm not sure what solves our problem because he doesn't seem to be taking advantage of the chances. Maybe as a pressing forward even, we could see if that works. But I'm not sure that suits his game. We just have to hope he finds form again. So this is the 11 we've gone for. I'm hoping we'll get a positive display out the boys. We've got Siegrist back in goal. Finlay Robertson's the only one with a heavy match load just because he can't play at the weekends. And the rest of it, bar Ali McCann, is near enough what you'd expect. So let's go and get into it. Away in Turkey. And this is a crucial game in the grand scheme of the season. So thank you to everyone popping in. Thank you for your support as always. If you haven't yet, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. It does make a big difference. Come and get involved in the chat if you haven't before. Come and let us know who your teams are playing this evening if you're in the lower leagues. Or which international team you're supporting over the next couple of weeks. Dylan, good evening. Thank you for popping in. Another one of the regulars. Great to have you along. And I'm glad you're doing well. Fingers crossed. We'll be doing well on the pitch against Besiktas. They've got Aaron Cresswell at the back there. That's an interesting one. I'm sure he was there last season when we forgot we played them. It's an absolute packed house in Turkey. It's going to be a very difficult match, this. Havard Norvate's in there. Vincent Abubakar. Adam Lajic. Boyd, the American international. Vida's at the back. The Croatian World Cup finalist. Holsgrove's got an injury already. Oh, it's turning into a disaster, isn't it? We just keep getting those knocks, those little setbacks. It's actually been a good performance. Lyon are winning their game, which guarantees us third in the group, hopefully. As long as we beat Mulder in the other game. But we've had the far better of the chances, but just not seen any highlights for them. And here are Besiktas in the middle, though Dembele's nicked it high up the pitch. He's got Akers to run into, but he can't finish normally. And he can't there either. Straight in the near post, he should have laid it in for Shankland in truth, but unfortunately, didn't quite work out in the end. Mike Ashley is the main reason. Decides not to renew Rafa's contract with Hibernian Bruce afterwards. But you see, I sort of said this in the Discord, didn't I? Before the recent run, after the injuries to Wilson. So I think it was the Southampton game was the last one they won, wasn't it? Where Wilson played, St. Maximan played. Since that time, or before that point, sorry, as they've scored for Besiktas, I just got distracted by seeing them score their first chance. But before that point, where they've gone on that recent run, Newcastle, Rafa had a worse points per game ratio than Steve Bruce. And the only reason Bruce is hated is because he was hated from the start. You know, he wasn't playing any worse football than Rafa. Rafa's team's part the bus as well. The players preferred Rafa. He's a bigger name. He protected them more. He got them more protection from the fans. And it's a very complicated situation, but I don't think Steve Bruce is to blame for most of it. And most teams can't cope without the players they haven't got at the moment. Unfortunately, at that end, that's telling. I mean, Brighton were on the awful run until Adam Lallana came back. It's just one of those things. Finn, good evening. Thank you for popping in. Lovely to have you along. Loads of people in this evening. If you haven't yet, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Come and get involved in the chat, and thank you all for popping along and spending your Tuesday evening with me. It's lovely to have you here as we're again bottling it over in the Europa League. We've had 7 shots, scored none, and then we've conceded the only one against us. It is basically classic Dundee United this season. Lawrence Shankland has turned into a Scottish League 1 striker for the best part of the year. And I don't really know how we get the form back. It's only since the latest update, in all the saves, I cannot get an advanced forward scoring. Not in a one up front, sorry. So do we try something else? Firstly, we're going to take Holsgrove off, who's hampered by that injury. He'll be replaced by Mallon, with O'Reilly going in at number 10. On the left, we're going to replace Mockery. He's going to come off for Mikey Johnston. And we're going to leave the last one another 5 or 10 minutes. Because it's not been a bad display. We've just not taken our chances. And if we can do that, I would imagine we'll be in much better shape. But we're getting towards the territory where we have to make the changes now. Darren Watson will come in. I don't know what his best position is. I mean, is there anywhere else he can play as comfortably as an advanced forward? There's not really. And it's something tactically we've got to work out. Because if the advanced forward's not going to work, we have to have a solution. There's been no shots for either side in this second half. So we're going to demand more. And with 10 minutes to go, if we could nick a point, it would be a good result. But it doesn't look like it's forthcoming. It's the story of our season of a number of wasted chances. Though Mallon puts a free kick in, it's too close to the keeper. It's well claimed. He did very well to hold it. But it's not the best way to try and create chances. There's so many good ones we've wasted all year. And I don't know how to solve the problem. It's a bit like Brighton in the Premier League. We just need a goal scorer. As Hickmet plays down the left for Besiktas. Time on the ball again. Through ball towards Goivin. This could wrap the game up. What is Siegrist doing? I mean, we might get away with it with VAR. And he's sitting on his knees in between the middle of the goal and it's gone right next to him. I don't get it. I do not get it. Dylan, go 2 up top. It worked with McNulty and Shankland for you. It did. But then we dried up defensively. We dried up in front of goal and went poor defensively. I don't really know what the solution is. Do I try a free at the back? Because that was a disaster when we tried that. But we've got the players for it now. Yep, Jacob, Europa Conference League next season and after Christmas as well. Not even that far ahead. Thank you for all the extra thumbs up as well. Just a couple away from double figures now. And it's back to the drawing board because I don't think I'll ever be able to explain how we lost that game. How do we get this team scoring again? Rather than having a look at changing the tactic itself, as Watson's on a goal drought too, it's not just Shankland, it is just that player in that tactic. Let's see what we can do style-wise. So if we get into the instructions, let's try and play down the flanks and see if we can get the ball into the box. Because through the middle, I'm not sure we're as strong. We're going to up the tempo slightly. I don't think we're going to have dribble less on. I don't think we're going to work the ball into the box anymore. Maybe we hit early crosses. I'm not sure on that one. Oh, let's take all of them off for now because we can work from a blank canvas. Generally, whenever I'm on a poor run, this is what we do. We take off as many of the instructions as possible. We still want to play out from the back. We still want to counter press and we still want to press the ball. But we're just going to try and simplify the attacking side of the game a bit and hope that makes a difference. And we've got a game where we don't need to worry about it because, let's be honest, we're not going to attack much against Rangers. So we've got 2 games to prepare for what we're going to do. But I don't want to change it or overhaul it too much before the Cup semi-final. So the last thing we want to do is be learning a new tactic and bottle that one as well. I wonder how Rangers are getting on in Europe, actually. We haven't seen much of them so far this year. Lyon won 5-2 at Mulder, so it's not just us getting battered. And it does mean that third is pretty secure, as it stands at the moment. And as long as that stays the case, I think we're happy, to be honest. that after the season we're still going to be in good shape. We're still going to be in Europe. And we're still going to have something to celebrate from February onwards. We've just got to try not to go out to someone like Shamrock Rovers this year. But there's certainly a lot of thinking to do here, because if we lose the Rangers game, which we probably will, resting the players we are, yes, that means we've got our first team available for Ayr United and for the Cup game and for the Besiktas return fixture afterwards. I mean, look at that expected goals there. Besiktas 0.07, Dundee United 1.63. And we've lost 1-0. Because they only had one shot, and it wasn't a great chance. But we've talked about Segrist before. And we're wasting a load of chances, despite having a very good finisher up top. So there's a few things we've really got to worry about there. And it's getting my brain ticking, but I'm not quite sure that I've got the right solution just yet. So there's a lot of thinking to do here. Finlay Robertson's trained well, but he's going to be absolutely cream crackered. So no game for him at the weekend. Is that Charlie Wyke up front for Ayr? It is. He's going to be a threat against us as well. So certainly not too much promise at this stage of the season. Because in 6th in the league, we could be under pressure again soon. And if you remember, it happened about the same time last year. I know it was Winter World Cup year, and just afterwards we found the formula that saved us. But it seems, again, we have a good year and then our tactic just gets found out every time, no matter how different it is. So there's certainly something to think about on that regard. But either way, we'll try and find a solution and hopefully we won't be struggling for too long. But thank you for everyone coming in. We're just one thumbs up away from double figures now. So if you haven't yet, please do chuck one on it. If you haven't already, come and get involved in the chat. I know no one looks forward to the international breaks really, as we've picked up another injury for a few weeks. And that's going to reduce our options in terms of rotation at the weekend. So there's certainly a few more things we've got to worry about just yet. But we'll get there. And the games are coming thick and fast, so I guess as much as it's quick to get into a crisis and become a problem, it's very quick that we can get out of those troubles as well. So there are positives to this side of things. But let's go and get into the Rangers game. It will be a heftily rotated side. We're going to make more changes than are being recommended there for sure. We're going to go as reserve as we possibly can. Segrist had another poor game in Europe, but we'll go for Sander Clark today. At right back, it'll be Dehaney with Nielsen, Finlay and Boys making up the rest of the back four. In midfield, we're going to have to be careful here because of the Holsgrove injury. So I think that means we'll have to go Jack Byrne as the number 10. With the injury to Johnston, it will be Duffy off the left, Paul Smith off the right, Watson up front. And then who are the backup midfielders? Stevie Mallon's one of them. And Glenn Ray, but he's not really fit. But that's what we're going to go for now. We'll get the two youngsters, Milligan and Dunn, on the bench. And then we'll try and avoid the ones with a heavy match load. And we'll play the ones that have played the least. So Jason Kerr will be on the bench. We'll also have Chris Mockery. We'll have Sariki Dembele. We'll have Lawrence Shankland. And one midfielder. Do we go O'Reilly or McCann? Who's got the fresher legs? Both on low levels of fatigue, but McCann's got the lower injury worry. So that is the 18 for today. We're going to go balanced against Rangers, and we're just going to try and cling on as long as possible. Tom, thoughts on the Kane Cash incident? It's a very simple one for me. I don't think it should be a penalty. As a defender, I hate that sort of thing against me. I don't think it's a penalty. I don't think it's a foul. I think Kane's initiating the foul there. However, by the current laws of the game, it's a penalty, which shows how bad the laws of the game are currently. Similar to the Lacazette-Sanchez one the other week, albeit that Sanchez dived in from behind and his challenge was more reckless. But the contact levels were similar, and they were instigated in a similar way. But the challenge was more reckless from Sanchez. But either way, in my book, neither would be a penalty, if the rules of the game were as I'd like them to be. But I guess as a defender, I'm going to be biased there. Or as a defender many years ago, I don't play anymore. But yeah, I think the only difference is Kane's is possibly, in my world, would be a booking for diving as well. But he gets away with it because of who he is. The same as Gary Lineker. He's called out dives loads of times on social media. And in that one, he's using fancy words that skirt around the word dive, essentially. And that's the thing that frustrates me. So, letter of the law, it's the correct decision. You have to understand why it's been given. But in a world where we were choosing sensible laws for football, I don't think any of us would have that as a penalty. But that's my opinion on it. I'd be interested to get yours instead. If you can try and be non-biased for a minute, Tom. No need to compare Lacazette's. I can't work out if Kane purposefully left the ball. I don't think it's about whether he purposefully left the ball. It's that he purposely went to the player. And it's something that's been creeping in a lot to the modern game. And it starts to annoy me, to be honest. In terms of Lacazette's, the contact is similar. The way the challenge went is similar. The difference is that Sanchez slid in wildly from behind, albeit he didn't really make any contact. It was still a reckless challenge. It was a stupid bit of defending. He's wildly out of position, whereas Matty Cash wasn't. And I do feel he was mugged off a bit there, Cash. But what can you say? That's the way the modern game is. It's why, to be honest, Tom, it's why I'm starting to enjoy Premier League games less and less. The more I watch lower league games, as Watson scores at Rangers. What a moment that is. The tactical tweaks work, because that goal's come from out wide. And we've given Rangers a shock there after being outplayed. And we're doing to them what Besiktas did to us. And we've got another free kick with Stevie Mallon. I'll come back to that, because Finley's headed in. What's going on here? 2 goals in 2 minutes. And it's 2-0 to Dundee United. Out of nowhere. We might have found a quick solution. Just those little tweaks. And we might have found our problem. After this episode, I will go and look at the match analysis. We did a special with it, looking at the banger save, just as to how our tactic replicates into games. And I will do it here to find out where the problem is and really drill down. But yeah, that's my opinion, Tom. The only thing I don't like about Kane that he does get away with, as that nearly goes in as a screamer, brilliant little chip, is the archback thing. Because as a defender, that's dangerous. That can cause big problems injury-wise. So I'm not a fan of that. But unfortunately, again, no one's really stopped it. As the ball's headed away by Nielsen. What annoys me more is he gets a free kick for it most times. As Duffy's got into a little tussle there, he comes out with a ball. Barely had a kick this season, but doing well today. And he's got it on the left wing again. To the overlapping boys, in towards Smith. What's going on here? We've just started running riot suddenly. Though Tony Weston, the wonder kid, picks it up. And now Rangers are on the counter. We've left Weston unmarked in the middle again. Masaba's skinning the whole team out wide here. And Weston's got it on the edge of the box. Lovely delivery to Richie Hosler. And our former star in the head coach from Dundee, the rivals of this city's club, has got them back in the game. 2-1 to Dundee United. And Rangers will surely throw the kitchen sink at us in the second half. Then they might get on terms before that. Ryan Jack with a corner. Finley heads away. Byrne can counter. It's 2-on-2. This is a great chance here. Byrne's going up. Into Darren Watson. He's got to score. He does score. Darren Watson makes it 3. And right on the stroke of half-time, the 2-goal lead is restored. A stunning effort from Dundee United's backup team. And we are competing with the very, very best. Thank you to everybody coming in. Certainly not a 0-0 draw this evening. And that tactical tweak has worked a treat. We're pleased with the lads. We're into the second half. And we just got to hope we can hold on. We've got the first teamers on the bench if we need them, though. And we've got a free kick on the right again with Stevie Mallon. In towards Finley. It's a penalty kick. It is all happening here. Paul Smith missed his last penalty. They're recommending Watson because he's on a hat-trick. But we have to win this game. We have to go for the best takers. Smith missed his last one. Stevie Mallon will take it. Will he be allowed to, though? Who's number 7? It is Stevie Mallon. Can he make it 4-1 to Dundee United remarkably? He steps up. 4 shots on target. 4 goals. And a 4-1 lead at Ibrox against Rangers, who are running away with the top of the league. That's incredible. After all the efforts we wasted at Besiktas, and take this as an example, just 2 little tactical tweaks, and that's what it's done. El Yanusi, weirdly, is at Rangers now and has just come off the bench. I did not expect to see that today, but this could be a great night. Tom Cash was looking to block across. I've never seen a striker, as Rangers nearly score again there. They've missed a sitter. So clearly run into defender. Poor Cash wasn't even trying to tackle. That's what I mean. He wasn't even trying to make a tackle. But given the way the laws are in the game at the moment, and the way referees ref the game in the Premier League with VAR, as you say, it's clever, because he knows it's always going to be given. So you've got to admire the street knowledge, the know-how. Right, Morgan Boys is on a yellow, so I'm going to bring young Stephen Dunn on. I did not expect to be 3 goals up with 17 minutes to go and giving the youngsters a run out against Rangers. We're going to put Watson on the right wing and we're going to bring on young Ray Milligan up front, another one of the youngsters, 16 years of age. And really, Michael Duffy needs a rest. So we're going to bring on, I want to bring Mockery on. Do you know what I'm going to do it? He's only a loan player. It doesn't matter if we send him back to Arsenal absolutely shattered at the end of the year. Let's get him on. 17 minutes to go. It's 4-1 to Dundee United. And we've got another free kick with Mallon. He's headed away from the back post. Weston flicks on, but there's nobody there. Glenn Ray had a good comeback game here to Dehaney. Chance to go wide to Watson. He's got a chance to cross in the box here. There's 3 in the middle. Saved by the keeper. I don't know what's happening. I don't know where this has come from. We are the most inconsistent, frustrating and hard to explain side in the Scottish Premier League. It's incredible. Trying to predict us is absolutely insane. Thank you to everyone coming in as well. Just 1 thumbs up from double figures. If you haven't yet, please do chuck one on there. I did say it at the start, but a quick thank you again now everyone's in to Dylan and Tom for the donations on Saturday. They do make a massive difference. And thank you to everyone that's been supporting the videos as well. The match analysis special on Sunday morning seemed to go down really well. I'm glad a few of you found that useful too. It's something that I never get to show in the story episodes, but I use quite a lot. So I'm glad that a few of you got something out of it. As Darren Watson gets the ball downfield, Nielsen heads away. But with 4 minutes to go, it would take something incredible for Rangers to not lose this game. Diaz crosses it in. Well, there's one of them. Joe Aribo makes it 4-2, and we could yet have a grandstand finish. Don't think it's over just yet. 2 minutes to go. If this corner gets headed away, we're in trouble. And it's gone straight into the keeper's hands. Oh, this is the problem with Dundee United. You can never just have a game that's comfortably won and see it out professionally. It has to be hectic. As Nielsen hoofs downfield, Watson flicks it down for Ray. Plays a 1-2 with him. He's got 3 running off him. Mallon's 1. Switches the play to Chris Mockery. He's played inside to Ray. He's got a man over on the right. Can he get it out there to Dehaney? He can. There's 2 or 3 in the box. The cross is blocked. And Glenn Ray gets there first because it could have been a counter-attack. Oh, what are you doing? He's giving it away. It better not be. It better not be. It isn't. Nathan Young-Coombs has missed about 3 sitters from one-on-one positions. But Glenn Ray's almost cost us the game there. I'll let him off. It's his first game back and he's tired. But he nearly does it again there. He's got to be more careful. Byrne goes downfield. It's missed by the defender. Milligan will chase it. Didn't really anticipate there, the 16-year-old. And it's a long clearance downfield, which Finley heads away as far as Mockery. We're still going forward. It's a fantastic chance. And Quintilla clears it away downfield to Dehaney. Back to Nielsen. I'll come back and look at the chat in a second. Just seeing this one out as Milligan's put Watson in. Chance for a hat-trick. And he's tried to chip the keeper from a ridiculous position. But that said, it's seen out the game. They're not going to score 2 in 1 minute. And I think we're going to hold on. It might be 4-3 though. As Aribo gets it to Quintilla into the box. It is it? No, off the line. Mallon clears it away for a throw-in. Josh, thank you for popping in. Lovely to have you in the chat. What team would you like to manage next? I'm not quite sure at the moment. I've not made my mind up yet. I'm sort of hoping that if we can have a good year and get another coaching badge, we might be able to get maybe a championship job in England or even a lower side in like the Bundesliga or La Liga or something like that moving forward. But at the moment, I'm quite content with Dundee United. It was planned to be sort of a 5 or 6 year series to break the old firm. It's just that after winning the League Cup and flying in the first year, we haven't yet done it. So we'll see. I mean, based on the actual vote pre-season from everyone to who we should manage in a live stream save, we did then a mobile series with Ballymena. We did a Christmas series with Luton. The only one we haven't managed is Stevenage. So perhaps that's something we have to look at as well. Because there was still 20% of you that voted for that. But that is about the most surprising performance and result we'll see all season. It moves us up to 4th. It keeps us in contention. Darren Watson was brilliant. And all I hope is that rather than being one good day at the office, that was a proper turnaround tactically. And those little tweaks are going to make us a good side now. We'll probably find out when Lawrence Shankland starts in midweek. But you never know. But Josh, thank you for coming and getting involved. Thank you to everyone coming in this evening. It's lovely to have you all along. 1 more week to the Barbers Open. Look at this lot. Fingers crossed I look like a mop at that point. But thank you everyone coming in. It really does make a big difference. I know now with people going back to work and that 5:30 is difficult on a Tuesday night. But so many of you come and support. It's been really appreciated. We're up to 17 points. Aberdeen are still 6th clear, you know. Been a real good start for them. Have we played them yet? We drew 0-0. That was away from home. So we've got a home game in mid-December. That could be a crucial one. Callum Donaldson, who we sent out on loan to get football after his injury problems. He has played games and done well, but he's also had injury problems there too. So it's not quite solved the problem just yet. I've just disappeared off my camera there for a minute, so let's pop that back on. There we go. We'll lighten back up in a moment. But thank you to everyone for getting involved in the chat. Just like Saturday, it's lovely that it's been so active. And just having an hour where we can talk nonsense about football really does make a difference, doesn't it? Particularly at the moment where people are finding it quite difficult. But it's Ayr United up next. It's sort of the dress rehearsal for the big game at the weekend. If you looked at this, just as a sort of schedule pre-season, and said these are the 3 games you're going to have in a row, you probably wouldn't have thought that the next one wasn't going to be the biggest. Because we've got a position where we face Ayr in the Premiership, trying to get back up to 3rd, which is a minimum essential. We've got Besiktas in the Europa League, yet the biggest game is a League Cup semi-final against the Dunfermline side we've already beat this year. But we didn't expect Celtic and Rangers to be out in the first couple of rounds. And if we don't win that competition now, Dunfermline in the semis and then Hamilton or Motherwell in the final, you've got to say we've bottled it really. We're the heavy favourites based on recent seasons. Celtic are held by Aberdeen. I don't know if that's a good thing. I'd probably rather Celtic have won. And then we'd have had a chance to catch them again. But, oh well, it is what it is. Dylan, I'm so happy all our fans are going to the stadium versus Ipswich on Saturday because Paul Cook will be there too. Paul Cook's was brilliant for Wigan. I really hope the guidelines and that will follow. Dylan, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. I do appreciate your support. Please don't feel the need to have to, because I appreciate your support either way. But obviously, if you can and you're able to, it really does make a difference. So thank you for the support as always. It is greatly appreciated. And yeah, it's really good to see Paul Cook going back to Wigan. It's a shame that it wouldn't have been a full house in the stadium, because I feel they could have got 15, 20,000 in there potentially and really had the opportunity to say thank you to him. But hopefully there'll be a chance next season, because Wigan's still got a great chance of staying up. Ipswich probably outsiders for promotion now, but it'll be a great occasion for him just to go back to the stadium, I'm sure, because a lot of the staff and that in the background will still be the same for him. But Dylan, thank you for the support. It's greatly appreciated. And I saw the animation work this time, so we're getting there gradually. Josh, what new feature would you like to see in FM22? That's another great question. I tell you, we talked about this. I can't remember if it was a stream or the Discord. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. One of the things that I find the hardest, particularly with the head coach, where we did a director of football challenge, is the sort of direct communication level. So like with your players now, you have quite a lot of it. But with the director of football and with the assistant manager, you don't have so much. So I'd like to see a lot of that. I think a lot of people in the sort of casual players of FM don't want that, because they find that sort of the media interviews and the staff interactions quite tedious because of the type of conversations. But I saw the recruitment meeting this year as the sort of first step towards that. And I think that'll be a really big benefit for the game. But I'm probably talking selfishly as someone doing a head coach challenge, which many other people don't, of course. So maybe that's just me, but that's something I'd like to see. I'm trying to think big things. I don't think there are a huge amount. I mean, the game this year, I've got to say, I've enjoyed it so much more than any other recent year. I think it's such a well-polished game, given the fact it was made in pandemic year as well, or the second half of it. I find it incredible that it's as good as it is. So I think we have to say well done and fair play. But I think for FM22, again, it would just be the polishing, the little things, and just trying to make sure that it's as realistic behind the scenes as possible. And I mean, when we talk about the recruitment meetings that have been brought in, luckily enough on our podcast channel, we got to interview the chairman of Linfield over in the Irish Premiership. And he talked about how their recruitment strategy worked and the meetings they would have. And the way he described it is almost identical to what's in FM. And I just thought that's such a brilliant indictment of what the game's done to make itself realistic. So I'd just love to see more things like that. Anything that makes football more real, the better. I'd like to see a little bit more around scouting that you could do. I think that would make a massive difference as well. But for me, yeah, it's probably more the recruitment side and the interactions with the staff in charge of that, rather than the footballing side, which I think is pretty well nailed on now. But let me know what you think. It's a good question for you guys as well. What would you like to see in FM22 if you're a regular player? Are there things you'd like to see brought into the game for future years? Or, because I think this year, I can't say I've ever enjoyed an FM more, not in 14, 15 years. It's a brilliant game and I'm having a time of my life, so hopefully you guys are as well. Let's go and pick this lineup then. We've got Ayr United at the start of 3 games. I'm not going to rest anyone. We're going to play them for 3 games here, I think. Or do we? Oh, I don't know. I feel like I have to rest them for the semi-final. So right, anyone who's got a light match load will play. Anyone who's got a medium one will drop. So, Xander Clark in goal. Right back. Let's just leave the ones in who've got a light one. That probably makes it easier. So, Ali McCann. I don't know that Watson would start anyway. And Mockery off the left. So, 3 of our usual 11 by the looks of it. There's somewhere we're going to have to stick with it. So, Finley's going to play at centre-half. That's not much of a weakening. Right back Dehaney. Left back Boys again. McCann alongside. So, I would normally bring Mallon in, but he's knackered as well. We've got to keep O'Reilly fit because of the weekend. But they're the only 2 that are fit. It's a difficult situation. We're going to have Smith on the right. We're going to have Byrne in the number 10. Do I put Mockery in centre mid? Let's do it. Do you know what? This side's good enough. Let's give them some faith. Most of them just played in a brilliant win over Rangers. We should have a bit of faith in them to get a positive result. Dylan, I'd like to see you be able to change players' positions. Oh, fair enough. I guess there's sort of that. That's sort of in the game, isn't it? To an extent. They're saying you have to learn it rather than just being able to change it. So, but you can teach players to become natural in a position. So I guess to an extent it's in the game. The only thing I would say with particularly with the sort of playing positions, is the way it's done in FM is, like, for example, you train it for 2 years and then they also improve when they play there. But I guess in the real footballing world, is there more of an onus on training than perhaps in a game? But then a lot of people don't use the training features in FM, so perhaps it's as realistic as it can be. But it's something that there's scope for there. It's just, I think, making it, as you say, probably a bit more prominent, because I think a lot of people don't use it. I certainly don't use it as much as I could. And then I get frustrated when I don't have players to cover a position and end up having to throw someone there who's unconvincing or competent rather than training someone and getting them in that position. So it's an interesting thought. The way it's done could probably be adapted slightly. Thank you to everyone coming in as well. Lovely to have your support this evening. A quick thanks to Dylan again for the super chat. It does make a big difference. I'm a little bit blurry this evening for some reason. I don't know why, but I'll wave to you anyway, and hopefully I'll unblur as it goes along. But if we have a look at the bench for today, I think we have to go very strong on the bench. If we're not going to start them, we have to have them available off the bench. So all of the first teamers will go in there, and then we'll see who's left out afterwards. So is that as strong as we can go? I think so. So there's the 11 for today. There's a couple of little gambles. We're not quite as strong as we'd like to be. But the League Cup semi-final, winning the League Cup would be a massive achievement again. So let's make sure we go and do it by trying to get a result against Ayr, hoping the tactical tweaks worked. And don't forget, most of this side beat Rangers. We've got to keep drilling that in. We've still got a good team out. But the main focus has to be Sunday. There's no doubting about that. So we're going to tell the boys to pick up where they left off. If you play like you did against Rangers, you will win this game handsomely. But Ayr United have got good players. Darren Watson up front against his former club, where he won SPL top scorer a couple of years back. Charlie White banging them in for Sunderland in real life. Shows how far Ayr United have come. They've got Strapp at left back as well. Good footballer, started here. Or was it Dundee he started at? I'm getting my saves mixed up. As Boys plays it out from the back to Mockery. I know the Dundee United fans will be telling me off for that. I have to be very careful. As Xander Clark's got it in goal. Out to Ted and Mengi. To Ali McCann. Back to Mengi again. 2 of the first teamers they're combining. Out to Smith on the right. And it would be lovely if we could get the perfect start here. Smith on the right wing to Dehaney. Into Duffy. Brilliant start. And again, the goals come from out wide. You've got to say that those tactical tweaks are working at the moment. It's definitely made a difference to the way that we're defending. Thank you for the extra thumbs up as well. It is greatly appreciated. Let me just cover myself quickly to see if I can make my blur go away. High-tech technology we've got here with the cheap webcam. That's how we are in the modern world. Josh, what's your favourite FM? That's another good question, actually. I would say somewhere probably 05 to 07 nostalgically are. I'd say 06 and 07 were the best ones for me because they're the ones that made me properly fall in love with a game. As Ayr United are level, that's a good goal as well. We've been caught out there a bit too easily. That's not the best one in the world to concede. But yeah, I'd say those for falling in love with a game. I had a brilliant time with FM15 because I had a memorable save in the San Marino challenge, which went on for like 20 odd years. So I would probably say that one as well. But normally your favourite FMs are the ones you have the best saves on, aren't they? So probably those. But then FM21 is right up there because I've loved all of the saves, which is unusual. Even though Dundee United frustrate me at times. What about yourselves? Tom, are there any Gaelic-speaking footballers in FM? No idea. I wouldn't even know how to start looking. Maybe there's a search option. I don't really want to use the player search screen, but I'll have a look. Because it's not like we're going to use that screen to sign anyone. So I'll go and have a look after this game, actually. It's a good idea. We've got 20 minutes to go. And I think we're going to have to make some tactical tweaks here. Because there's some tired legs. And there's some struggling performances. So, Lawrence Shanklin will come on for Paul Smith. Darren Watson on the right-hand side. Shanklin up front. Jack Burns knackered in the number 10. So, Matt O'Reilly for him. Oh, didn't make it. Let's go for it again. And then Mockery will go to the left. I'm cooking all the wrong ones today. Mockery will go to the left. Ali McCann will be joined by Finlay Robertson in the middle. And Michael Duffy will go off. So with 20 minutes to go, after battering Rangers with our reserve team, we're now probably going to drop points at home to Ayr United, which is exactly the perfect description of Dundee United at the moment. As much goes long downfields towards McGowan. It's flicked on and the keeper's going to get there surely. He makes it nail-biting the way he runs out there. The two fullbacks are knackered, which might not help us with counter-attacks later on, as Finlay plays into O'Reilly. I don't care if it's a squeaky 2-1 victory. We'll take a win by any form here. As Watson gets it out wide again. Beats the fullback. Chance to cross. It's blocked away. Dehaney loses out in a challenge. They're playing around with it back there. Not the best idea. McCann intercepts it to Mockery. Robertson to O'Reilly. Shot blocked to McCann. Watson and Dehaney playing a 1-2. Through to O'Reilly. There's the goal. 2-1 to Dundee United. And if we can get this result, that would be a special night at the office. I really would be very happy if we could cling on for that one. And hopefully we're just a few minutes away from it now. 10 minutes to go as it's out to Mockery on the left. Switch of play towards Watson. Can we make it comfortable? Against his former club, the shot's blocked. And he's out to Dehaney on the right. Chance to cut back to Ali McCann. Into Robertson. To O'Reilly. Turns and shoots. Matt O'Reilly's back in goal scoring form. Happy days, everybody. We are going to win this game and make it 2 in a bounce before we face Dunfermline in the League Cup semi-final. Thank you to everybody coming in as always. Your support is greatly appreciated. We're in double figures for views. We're in double figures for thumbs up. And thank you again to Dylan for the super chat. You're all greatly appreciated. And it's lovely to talk so much football this evening. And we're even on a good run with Dundee United. I mean, things are getting worryingly good at this point, aren't they? The problem is, as things are getting worryingly good, the next game is Dunfermline. And I know what's coming. I know that it's going to be that game where it all goes wrong. Is that a goal? Wow, McGowan hits the bar, but the run was not picked up. Boys clears it downfield. And I think we've held on. It's a comfortable victory in the end. Is that Chalmers that we had previously? Because if so, Ayr United are building a decent little side there. But I guess we've managed to rest a lot of the team for part or all of the game. We've still got the win. And we're only 4 points off Aberdeen now. So things are looking up. We're fighting for the top 3. But there's the big game to come at the weekend now. We have got to beat Dunfermline to make these sort of team selection choices worthwhile. And more importantly, to get to a cup final, because that's something we can enjoy a bit later on in the season. Thank you to everyone joining in as well. Tom, I'll go and have a look at your question now. So if we go to the player search, which we don't use in this series, I think the last time I ran it was when someone asked for something in the summer or at the end of last season. So I'll go and see what the last search was. It'll be an interesting one. For some reason, it's slowed right down now as we go and look at the scouting screen, but we'll get there eventually. And we'll go and have a look for players that speak the Gaelic language. So, for this, I think we go to player search. Let's clear the screen. There's only one player found who's a random Irish player worth £8,000. So we must have been searching for something fairly specific. So if we go down here, we should be able to find languages somewhere, I'm guessing. Is it in general? Language spoken. I don't even know if it's an option. I presume it'll be Irish rather than Gaelic. Let's just see. Yeah, there's not a Gaelic option. So I'm going to go for Irish and see what happens. Well, there's a lot of players listed there as speaking English and Irish fluent separately. So I can only imagine, Tom, that some of these Irish players are among those who can. I don't know if I'll be proven wrong, and I don't know if that's spot on. It lists James Collins of Luton Town, who is an Englishman playing for Ireland. So I'm not sure. And James, please do prove me wrong, and I'm sorry if I've made a disparaging accusation, but I don't think James Collins can speak Gaelic. We'll wait and see if I'm right on that front. Tom, you can give me your opinion on that too. But yeah, certainly an interesting take on that. I couldn't imagine there being that many. But again, we're not searching specifically, are we? It's a bit of a unique one, that. So the next game coming up is Dunfermline in the League Cup semi-final. And I know that's our priority, but we've also got to bear in mind that 4 days after, we've got a must-win home game against Besiktas. Because if we do win that game, by more than one goal that we lost by in the away game, and then we get better results against, or match their results against Mulder and Leon, we will get through. So it's a very big game in that regard. We're going to give Milligan a go in the under-23s. Same for Dunn, same for Nielsen. And we'll leave the other two for now. But there's some big moments coming up in this save, and it could go wrong. Tom, exactly. There you go. Colo speaks Irish. Exactly. Get one of them on the podcast. We'd love to get a few of them on, to be honest. There's so many. I mean, we've got some great ones coming up. We should ask Michael Spillane, actually. He's an Irish under-21 international. And he played for Luton. We've recorded the interview now, but we can go and ask him, certainly. See if he was listed there. But yeah, certainly some interesting names on that list. Right, let's get through this press conference. It is a big game because there's no hiding it. We are the favourites. And I have to keep saying it because it's a fact. We can't come in and say, oh, but it's a cup that Celtic and Rangers are in. They're not there. There's no excuse. Jake, good evening. Thank you for popping in. Lovely to have you along as always. Great to see all of the regulars in this evening, as well as one or two new or unfamiliar faces. So thank you all for popping in. Thank you all for the extra thumbs up. And thank you again to Dylan for the donation. They all make a big difference. And it's lovely to have you all along. Nothing better on a Tuesday evening, particularly in the international break. Gives us a little bit of a respite, doesn't it? There's not much to talk about footballing wise otherwise. I'm keeping an eye on this Graham Gebby, who's in the under-23s or the under-19s. He's starting to look a decent player. And he's not far off Nielsen's level now. So we'll keep an eye on him. Oh, he's in the under-18s. But next year, he could be competing with Nielsen. But the reason I'm trying to make a distraction at the moment is because I'm a little bit worried about what's coming up in this final, to be brutally honest. And whether we're going to be able to get a result. So Jordan Holsgrove is not quite fit for the final. But we'll see how that pans out as we go along. We're going to go as first 11 as we can. I know the others have got good results, but there'll be some tired legs now. Jake, bit late, been at work. Not a problem at all. I mentioned that a bit earlier. It's lovely to have so many of you along, knowing that some of you are back to work or you're changing, going back to the offices and all that sort of stuff now, particularly in the UK. So thank you for putting the effort in to pop in. Just getting your teeth into that Villarreal save. You landed on your feet with that one. Not many sack from Russia and end up at Villarreal. Some big games in the lower leagues tonight, absolutely. And that's the thing in the international breaks. Everyone forgets about that. I'm a little bit annoyed. They haven't put a Irish League game on the TV tonight, or on the live streams. On the BBC iPlayer stream, sorry. Whereas normally they do. I think they've got one on Saturday, though. Just saying, I don't think there was any football tonight, is there? None on TV at all. Tomorrow, Wales is on there, obviously. It's on S4C, so only in Welsh, but still football. And then Thursday's England San Marino. Not that we'll learn much out of that. Friday night, nothing really. Oxford Lincoln, but I can't watch that. I haven't got Sky. And then Saturday's the big one for me. Portadown v Linfield. Maidenhead v Altrincham, the National League as well. And then Wales later on in the evening too. Oh, Dundee v Dunfermline's a bit later. It's at 7:20. So I can watch back-to-back games on the BBC. That's what we like to see. And I know there's a few people who are going to slate it as well. But I'd just like to say, as someone with the cheaper TV packages, it's great to see the women's deal earlier in the week. Because to get an extra 20 games for free to watch is excellent. I couldn't really see what most of the complaints were about, to be brutally honest. If you don't like it, don't watch it. And if you do, it's 23 games. Excellent stuff. Right, Benji Siegrist is going to start. Brook in his first choice. We're going for Mengi and... Do I leave Finley in because he's been great the last couple of games? I'm going to do it. Finley in. We'll bring Kerr back on Thursday. Mitchell at left back. Ali McCann alongside Finley Robertson. O'Reilly's got to play number 10 after midweek. On the right, not sure about that. Mokri's not been great recently on the left either. But he's going to get a go today. We're going to go Dembele and Mokri. Shankland up front. Subs bench, we've got Kerr. Boys ahead of Dehaney because he's tired. In the middle, Holsgrove's back. Mallon's there. Watson. And then Duffy and Byrne, I think. Out of favour earlier in the season. But a big part of our plans today. This is the biggest episode. The title was named after it. The biggest game of the episode, sorry. If we lose in the League Cup semi-final, then all of the other positive results are swept under the carpet because it will be a crisis again. Broga Smithereens, just some of the words we owe to the Irish language. Some absolute crackers, aren't there? It's amazing, though, like the amount that come from different languages. You don't realise it in your day-to-day lives. It's nice to be distracted by something other than football for once as well. Thank you to everybody popping in. Lovely to see so many thumbs up and all your great support on the video again. I do appreciate you coming and joining my ramblings every few days. I'm sure there are higher production value contents available and streamers who have got the fancier equipment, but we just try to have a laid-back football chat and hopefully that will still always come across. Tunji Akinola, one of our Dundee heroes again from the head coach, is starting in this team. Zach Medley, former Arsenal youngster, I think, for Tom there. But some good players. But can we get on top early? As O'Reilly's corner's in, Lawrence Shankland ends the goal drought. And within 7 minutes, we are ahead. It's an excellent start. Is this semi at Hampden? Because this ground looks massive. Can't be Dunfermline, surely. It looks like Hampden. We'll have to have a look after. But either way, a perfect start even. And if we can keep that up... Oh, no. Good save, Benji Siegrist. Mengi missed the head up. He gets away with it with the offside flag. But that was not particularly good. We've got a throw-in on the left with Tyrick Mitchell. Up to Chris Mokri. He could do with a goal as well and end in that sort of poor form. As McCann gets it into Shankland. There's Mitchell on the left. Mokri's making the run into the middle. There's 3 others with him. Cuts it back. Cleared away off the edge of the 6-yard box. And now Dunfermline can counter. Zanzala's turned the defender again. He's done this 2 or 3 times already. Gets down the line to the byline. Zanzala back to Lewis. To the right winger again. Or the striker out on the right wing. And Mitchell intercepts. He then keeps it in as well. That's superb defending. Robertson to Finley as we play out. Oh, and then he's giving it away with a crossfield ball. You learn how young to never play across your own goal defensively. But O'Reilly's nicked it high up. Shankland to Robertson. O'Reilly's in behind. He's got to feed him. He's got to score. Matt O'Reilly at the keeper. Oh, we're going to regret missing that. 1-0. 2 great chances already. Unfortunately, we don't double our lead. It's a long ball out from the back from the Dunfermline keeper. Brookin heads it down. We've picked it up on the right. It's been a pretty frantic start at the start of this game. Yes, we've had the better chances. But territory, it's been end-to-end. O'Reilly again 30 yards out. Going left into the box. Skins 2. And the shot is, I don't want to understate this, but I think you could say diabolical. straight past the keeper and out in line with the edge of the box. It was not the most accurate effort in the world. 25 minutes on the clock though. We can't be displeased to be a goal up. And we've got to enjoy where we are at the moment. Fingers crossed, we'll be alright. Jacob, who's that to? We haven't conceded. What's going on there? Dembele flicks it on. O'Reilly down for Shankland. Far from it. We are alive and kicking in the Scottish League Cup. And just as it was calming down... Oh, it says Shankland wants a Dunfermline player on loan. Oh, that will be controversial. But 2-0 Dundee United. Lawrence Shankland is back in the zone. And with a big game in Europe on Thursday night, with a cup final hopefully on the horizon in this competition, that could be good timing. As Thomas gets it on the left, has done well against us in the past. And the same there. I don't know why I get so excited. And this is the thing. You see the tactical tweaks we've made. We're now scoring goals galore. But we can't defend for toffee again. And that's the problem. Is you can never get both with this Dundee United side. We've managed to get both with Bangor City. We've managed to get both with, to an extent, in the head coach with Derby and then with Southampton. Here, absolutely not. 2-1 at half time though, we are still in the lead. We're going to tell the boys to keep it up, not to let their foot off the gas. We've just got to try and hold on and get to that final. Doesn't matter how pretty or ugly it is. Dembele's down. Is that a penalty? It's been given. We haven't got VAR here. So Lawrence Shankland has a penalty to get his hat-trick. And he does just that. What a bonus. Given to us by the Dunfermline defence at the start of the second half. A terrible bit of clumsy defending. And there we go. Dunfermline in a cup semi-final. I'm shocked. Well, Jacob, the good news is it looks like they're not getting to the final because we should be stopping them here. We're going to go and freshen things up with 25 left. Ali McCann's complacent, so Stevie Mallon on for him. Not sure which way round's best. Who's the best defensively? Robertson is, so we'll leave him further back. Dembele on the right will be replaced by Watson. And on the left, Chris Mockery will be replaced by, I think, maybe Duffy. Because he has been good when he's come back. Let's just do it. Duffy on the left, Watson on the right. And Shankland banging him in with a hat-trick up front. All we've got to do now is avoid our usual procession of collapsing and succeeding. Thank you to everyone who's sticking by as well. We've been in double figures throughout, which is absolutely incredible. So thank you for sticking with us, particularly as we come up to this big game. And then we've got one more this evening. Besiktas in the Europa League. And if we win by more than one goal, qualification for the last 16 or 32 even is in our hands. We've seen the game out comfortably. That doesn't happen very often here. And Lawrence Shankland's hat-trick, including the final one from the penalty spot, mean it's 3-1 Dundee United, and we are now in the League Cup final. We won it the first season. There's no Celtic or Rangers. So who are we going to be facing in the final? It's either Hamilton or Motherwell who face off in the second semi. I don't know if they've already played, actually. We'll find out shortly. But what a fantastic effort. We're through to the League Cup final, and that'll be a showpiece event in a future episode. So no further for Dunfermline, Jacob. We've managed to stop them there. Thank you for all the extra thumbs up as well. This is the most we've had while still live for ages. If you've missed any of the stream at the start and you want to catch up, there'll be a full replay afterwards as we face Hamilton Academical in the final. I'd argue of the two, they're probably the more threatening. We drew 0-0 against them, and then we drew 2 against Motherwell. It's much of a muchness, isn't it? But Hamilton have still got Andrew Winter up front. And he's one hell of a player. It's worth 6.5 million now. And that final, actually, oh, that could be a problem. That final is 4 days before the final Europa League game against Lyon. That's a problem for a later episode. I think what we'll do after the Besiktas game today is we'll probably play all of the next 4 games off camera. We've got the return of Falkirk and Inverness, who we battered at the start of the season in the league. Dunfermline, who we just beat comfortably there. And Mulder, who we were more than happy against in the Europa League the first time round. And then we'll just come back for that big run of 5 games. Hamilton, Lyon, Celtic in the league. Aberdeen and Hibs, who are 2 sides competing for the top 3 with us. It's going to be a wonderful episode on Saturday, isn't it? Certainly going to be a lot to play for there. Thank you for all your support as always. Thank you for being involved in the chat. A quick thank you to Dylan again for the donation. It does make a difference. I always want to give as many thanks as possible to those people and to all of you who are active in the chat, in the comments of videos, and just for watching and being part of the action. It does make a big difference. You don't know how much of a confidence builder it is when you come in to start a stream and there's already 4 or 5 people sitting there waiting, which when we first started obviously never happened. So it's massive to see that. And for me, it makes a big difference. So if you're one of those, a big thank you again. Oh, it was going too well, wasn't it? Morgan Boys has picked up an injury. Sariki Dembele is his only 1 to 2 days. So he might miss Thursday, but he should be all right after that. And now we've got to the League Cup final. We turn our attention to what is again now the most important video of the episode. Most important game of the video. Because if we can beat Besiktas by more than 1, second place is in our hands. I just don't know whether we're capable of it. We'll see how much the tactical tweaks have really worked against the same opponent that we created and wasted so many chances against last week. And we've got to see how many of those boys that played at the weekend are fit. It should be most of them because they had a rest before that. But there's always 1 or 2 surprises. I'm hoping based on the start to the season, we can play our backup team against Falkirk and still win. Has the other game in our group been played yet? No. Leon should beat Mulder though. Let's have a look at what the assistant recommends. So, Mengi and Finley, both a heavy match load. We'll bring Kerr in for Finley. We'll play Mengi tonight, and then at the weekend, we'll play Finley and Kerr. Try and balance it out. Robertson in the middle's knackered, so Stevie Mallon in for him. O'Reilly in the number 10's not in great shape, but he's on fire, so we're going to leave him today. Dembele will be replaced by Watson, and we'll leave the rest for now. But we're going to bring Smith onto the bench. We've got to get a few of those tired legs out. So Lewis Nielsen, and is Dembele fit enough to play there? Possibly, but we've got enough wingers there. We'll bring Ray on instead. Give us some central midfield options. There you go then. A little bit of rotation. We've kept a few in. And hopefully we can get the result we need to. Because this is a massive game if we want to qualify and avoid the Europa Conference. Do you think we can win it though? I guess that's the big question. Because it could still go very wrong just yet. Let's have a look at the lineups then. Besiktas, pretty much the same again. Ozan, he's another former Arsenal youngster, isn't he? Turkish international. Anyone else we recognise? Don't think so. It's just him for Morrow by the looks of it. Oysal's on the bench. He's a good player. It's a very good team though. It should be no shame if we finish 3rd behind them. I'm just hoping we can get on top physically perhaps at home. Really impose ourselves early on. As we head into the first half here. It's a 4-3-3 for our Turkish visitors. And you can see if we win this, we're both on 6 points. And it'll be the head-to-head record. We didn't get the away goal, so we can't really concede here unless we win by 2 or more goals. As Boy clears it downfield for the Turks. It falls for Mengi on halfway. He's got Brookin over at right back. Back into Mengi again. Time on the ball, plays into Watson, already on a booking. But he's cutting in from the right and finds O'Reilly. Out to Brookin. Nobody in the box just yet. Brookin gets there and his cross is blocked. He was trying to cut it back, which caused the problem. To Darren Watson. To Mallon on the edge. Stevie Mallon with a cracker. What a finish by Stevie Mallon that is. Into the team and absolutely on fire. He's always had that brilliant finish from long range. And first time from the edge of the box, he puts us in a lead with a screamer. Stevie Mallon to the rescue. And 1-0 Dundee United. Cresswell's got it at left back again to Vida. What we don't want to do is concede, as we mentioned. 2-1, they've got the better head-to-head record. However, 2-0, it would be us. Watson tries to counter, but he's beaten by the slide challenge of Sousa. Already on a yellow, so perhaps willing to risk a red card, which might help us. Abubakar wins his header. It's a great ball forward. Driven, drop-through ball. But it's well intercepted by Mengi. Brookin finds Watson on the right. He's terrorising the left back. He delivers again, but the final product's not quite there. It's reminding me a little bit of Harry Cornick in real life and who we had on loan last year here. As Kerr finds Mitchell, out to Chris Mockery on the left. Takes on the fullback. Can he have a good game at last? Had a little poor spell of form, but that's not bad. And Darren Watson at the back post to head in. There's the benefit of having a second striker off the wing. They cut into the box naturally from the crosses. And at the front post, Darren Watson glances it. 2-0 to Dundee United. Leon have got the lead against Mulder. And this result should wrap up third place and give us a great chance at second. And don't forget, from a club point of view, the coefficient in Scotland not so important for us at the moment. If we can get second place, it's extra money for being in the Europa League rather than the Europa Conference after Christmas. Thank you to everyone who's still along as well. Please do come and get involved in the chat if you haven't already. And thank you all for your incredible support as always. It does make a big difference. As Brooking crosses from the right, Shanklin heads into the arms of Iskender. He probably could have done better there in truth. It was a real good opportunity. But he put it straight at the keeper, whose kick is awful. Gives it away to McCann, and now Darren Watson on the right. Inside to Ali McCann again. Inside to Mallon. Watson's got an overlap, but instead cuts inside. He's looking to do that all day. He's got Mockery with him. He's going alone though. To the edge of the box, back to Mallon. Likes to shoot from here, but instead plays short. Mitchell delivers, Shanklin's up. And Vida heads away. Only as far as Mallon and McCann again though. Out to Brooking overlapping on the right. Chance to cross and really get this game in our ascendancy. And even Chris Mockery scored. What a goal from Dundee United. What a performance on the big stage. And it is Dundee United 3, Besiktas 0. And what a time to produce it. A stunning performance, a wonderful effort. And who saw this coming? Because I certainly didn't. Hopefully these tactical tweaks will see us out the rest of the year. Thank you for the extra thumbs up as well. Your support's been absolutely incredible tonight. And we can't tell the lads we're anything other than pleased, because their support for us since we've tweaked the tactic has been wonderful. A brilliant performance. Chris Mockery's back in form. Darren Watson's really doing well again. And this is the thing about gradually improving the squad. Stevie Mallon's a backup player now. He comes in, makes a big difference. And there's the block in midfield from McCann. Mockery runs away with it. It's a 3-on-3 if he picks the right ball. He's still going alone into the box. Gets to the left side of the area and goes all the way back to Mitchell. But there's still 4 players up in support. McCann finds Mitchell again to Mockery. He's still got that individual talent when he's on form. Mallon crosses. Watson heads it back down for Brooking. And we're being forced backwards. He's giving it away to Boyd. Got to go and win that back now. And does exactly that, to be fair. Brilliant defending. Mengi chips it left to Watson. The important thing here is that we keep at least a 2-goal advantage. That we give ourselves the better head-to-head record. Because if we beat Mulder and lose to Leon and they do the same, it puts us through. And that's all we could have asked for. As Mitchell gets it on the left again. Into Watson. It's even better. It's 4. It's 4-0 to Dundee United. And now, surely we can't concede 3. But they've got a corner kick and they might get the first here. Lajic into Vida. Mengi heads away. Lajic in again the second time. This time Mengi heads away from Sousa's head. He's absolutely everywhere, the youngster. Nordvik gets it inside to the centre half and he's been challenged quickly. Shanklin's pressing. Watson's pushed up and pressing, but they've broken it this time. Sousa gets it into Morrow, the substitute. Up to the centre forward, to Boyd off the left. Good chance to come forward, it's intercepted, and Mengi hoofs clear to Shankland. It's a 2-on-1, but he fancies his chance. Holds up well for Mockery. Into Shankland again, got to shoot. Does shoot! Just wide of the post. Still 4-0, but this has been a scintillating display. We were brilliant against them away from home, just couldn't find the back of the net. But now we're taking almost every chance, and it's becoming a wonderful day at the office. We're going to replace O'Reilly, who's knackered, with Holsgrove. We're going to replace Mockery, who's knackered, with Paul Smith. And I would take Kerr off at centre-half, but I don't want to mess with the defence. I don't really want to mess with anything else yet. Watson's on a yellow, although he's had a brilliant game. He's got 2 goals, he's on a hat-trick. But I don't know if I want to risk him. And now he's shattered. So we're going to bring Jack Byrne on. 10 minutes for him. And we're 4-0 up. We've got to enjoy it. As Stevie Mallon plays wide to Mitchell. Off the left-hand side. No real pressure on him. If we can make it 5, this is a real statement. Mitchell to the byline. The first challenge is blocked. The second one falls to Stevie Mallon. Delivers to Jack Byrne. It is 5-0. And even the transfer-listed 5th choice winger has scored. This has been the perfect night. It's the one where it all comes together. We had a great display at Rangers, but we threatened to give it away late on. We had 2 games that weren't convincing against Dunfermline in the Cup and Ayr United. We had the toothless game away in Turkey. And this time, we've just turned up and been brilliant. A wonderful win, 5-0 to Dundee United. And is there ever going to be a better finish to a stream than that? Aside from the Wigan one. But apart from that, we're in pole position now. We're in the ascendancy. We have got qualification in our own hands, and as long as Lyon do the job in their game against Besiktas, all we have to do is beat Molde. And I'd fancy us to do that pretty comfortably. They didn't really offer anything last time around. So a wonderful finish to the episode. Thank you so much everyone for coming in as always. Let me quickly remind you when we're going to be back on Saturday morning at 10:30. What we're going to do then is we're going to play Falkirk and Inverness off camera. They're two games where we battered them at the start of the season, and we should do the same again, particularly if we're beating Besiktas by 5. Molde away in Europe should be comfortable, and Dunfermline at home in the Scottish Premiership should be as well. And then we are going to come back for 5 massive games in December. Firstly, the start of Saturday morning's live stream, set your alarms for 10:30 because we will have Hamilton in the League Cup final as the first game. And if it starts badly, it could well be a very long night and a very disappointing one. Or a very long morning, I should say. But Hamilton will be the first game, a chance to win a trophy. Lyon at home in a final Europa League game, which could be crucial. And in 3 league games that are going to shape our race for 3rd place. Aberdeen and Hibs, who have started well. Hibs are in 6th, 1 point behind us. Aberdeen are 2nd, 4 points ahead of us. And Celtic are top 6 points ahead of us. So 3 games are going to shape our season in the league. They're them, and they're following our 2 most important ones in the Cups. A chance to win a trophy on Saturday morning. I hope to see you there to see if we can do it. But thank you so much for watching as always. Thank you for your incredible support. A quick thank you again to Dylan for the donation. It does make a massive difference. And I'll see you on Saturday morning for a chance to win a trophy with Dundee United. Thanks for watching. I'll see you there.